Barak, Yahweh, Alam, Shalom, righteous family. Welcome back to True Talk. And I coming from where I come from, knowing who I am and what our people been through. The sad thing is, a lot of our people don't know our history, don't know our resilience, don't know the honor and morals that we have. And if you let this world paint a picture of us, they'll think we just welfare, gang bangers, don't take care of our kids, all those stereotypes. I want y'all to hear something.
It's pretty hard. Maybe it'll be so, reading, I believe it's going to change. Maybe it'll be so we can work. Uh-huh. Maybe we'll get a chance to work some. You know, when a person can work and make his own money, he can spend it like he want, can't he? Mm-hmm.
You have a great deal of respect for work.
That's the only way you can get anything is work, ain't it? I done worked and got 55 years old and ain't got nothing, ain't it? That look like it's a fool. Look like it's a fool in working, don't it? I've been working, done got 55 years old and ain't got a thing. The man would come here now and tell me, Helen, get out of my house. I wouldn't have a tent to go put on. Get under to put my children on. Now, it don't look like work's good to eat, do it? No, it ain't. I done found it out. Look like I ought to be done found it out. The more you work, the less you have. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing. And I ain't working. I'm still getting a little something to eat. Now I got on pretty good old clothes. So it just don't make no difference. It just don't make sense.
Having worked all your life and not having any money at all,
Uh-uh.
does that make you feel?
Babe. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sure do. You don't know nothing about working, do you? Do you?
I work.
Do you know anything about cotton? Uh-uh.
The hard work.
Sure is. It's pretty hard. It's pretty hard. Maybe it'll be so.
Now, this just hit home because you had this Caucasian man interviewing one of our ancestors, talking about, what would they want, basically, freedom out of this country, what would be something that they'll look for it. And they like to say we was lazy, right? We was lazy, but we was taking care of their kids. It's funny how they call us lazy, but we was doing work while they was sitting on the butt. We was out in they field picking cotton and tobacco and sugar canes and planting gardens and building barns while they was sitting back with a whip and then some iced tea yelling at us while our ancestors was in the kitchen cooking their whole family some food and also saying about their kids, but they want to paint the picture that black people are lazy. I won't allow it. For my ancestors' sake, for truth's sake, I won't allow it. And this woman, all she want, she didn't say I want money, I want a house. She say maybe we'll be able to work and get our own money and do what we want to with our money. All we wanted was our own. And then she said, I've been working all my life, but I ain't got nothing. If this man tell me to leave today, I ain't got nowhere to go. Been working hard, making him rich, doing hard labor. That's why I don't feel for these white people when they say, well, my family's poor. I grew up poor also. You don't know what poor is. The poor that they talking about is middle class to some black people. I know this white boy talk about, well, my family grew up poor on a farm. I'm like, y'all had a farm? That don't sound like you grew up poor on a farm. And you went to talk about how they had cows and chickens and how they had to go out there and do their work. And I'm like, y'all don't sound like y'all was poor. And he was like, yeah, we. I was like, did y'all ever go a night without eating? He was like, nah, my mom, we always had something to eat. I was like, did y'all have water? Yeah, we always had water. He was like, but we didn't have no new clothes. Grandma used to, it say mama used to nail their clothes together and make them shoes. So he thought he was poor because his family, instead of going to the store and buying clothes, they buy the material and made the clothes themselves. I said, man, you was not poor. I said, you ain't. Poor people, they go without hunger. They go without food for a couple of days. You talking about your family made you clothes. Being poor, but you ain't got no clothes. You got holes in the clothes. You was talking about, well, when we didn't have no new clothes. When we got holes in our clothes, my mama had to patch it up, so we was poor. That's not poor. That's just your family being smart. Get a hole, patch it up. So it's amazing when some white people bring up they was poor, and when you really talk to them, oh yeah, you was poor. How was you poor? They realize they wasn't poor. Growing up, I was poor. At times we slept in the whole family. We had nowhere to stay. If it wasn't a motel, we was sleeping in the back of my mama's van. Didn't know what we was gonna eat. Shoes talking. You don't know about having shoes that's talking. That's getting sand and dirt and your toe poking out. But guess what? Just as my ancestors worked hard, my mama and we worked hard just to rent and have stuff that we couldn't call our own in the struggle because they was paying us a penny on a dollar while everybody else was getting paid the natural ways. The things that our people went through and continue to go through, and they want to ignore all that and point the finger while hiding their hands. You can never bring up the issue of Black America without bringing up the everything that has been done and still is being done. Let me make that person clear. Still is being done to the so-called black man and woman in America. Never listen to them when they say get over it. That was a long time ago. Because when they do that, they taking the responsibility of their action of why there are ghettos, or why there are broken house today, or why it, I'm gonna put it like this. I think Malcolm X said something to this effect. You stab somebody in the back, you don't just pull the knife out and tell them, okay, I stabbed you in the back. Now I done pull the knife out, go on with your day. When that wound is still open, it's gonna bleed, it's gonna get affected, it's gonna affect the whole body. That person may end up losing toes, may end up dying because you never seen about that wound. And if that person start getting gangrene and start acting crazy, you cannot say it's just that person's fault. What was the cause? The cause was the knife wound that you pull out his back and didn't seem to heal that caused him to have gangrene in the mind and go crazy. But they'll want you to do is just say, hey, This person just went crazy for no reason. So when they say, why y'all always bring up slavery and Jim Crow and redlining? Because the impacts of that is showing today. And we never been restored or recovered from all that trauma. Everybody talk about therapy, 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 therapy. White person want to get therapy. Was there any therapy for my ancestors that seen their children sold away, seen their babies being fed to alligators, seeing their father and their brother and sisters and mothers being hung and raped and working all day in the field? Was there any therapy for that? But all praise to the Most High. Once again, it just show you the resilience of our people and the morals, how we truly are. You know, I don't really like people when they say, "Oh, we are not our ancestors." People like that, they got this idea that our ancestors just laid down and got beat and never fought back. You never read about what's his name? Uh, man, I think that's his name. But all the, I think Nick something Nick, I forgot his name. But all through history, our people fought. That's why you will hear about hangings because they fought. You will hear about slave revoking. They don't want to tell you that part of the history about how our ancestors, a lot of them jumped off the boat because they rather drown than to be slaves. And then when they came over here, they fought. No, our ancestors wasn't no hoe. And I never disrespect my ancestors by saying, "Oh, I'm not our ancestor," because yes, I am my ancestor. I'm just as brave, strong, and resilient as they is. We are our ancestors. If it wasn't for our ancestors, we wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for them surviving through the BS, I and me and you wouldn't be here. So how can I disrespect them and say, "Oh, I'm not my ancestors"? They survived for us to be here, and they put up with so much. But they was heroic people. I honor my ancestors. I don't worship them. I don't do ancestor worship. I don't worship the dead, but I do honor. And I honor them by living my life as a righteous man to the creator that created us all. So salute and honor to all my ancestors that came before me, that worked hard for nothing. But as always, let Yah be true and every man a lie. Till next time, Shalom.